Brawl news. Hey guys, we gotta do this every now and again. I know it sucks sometimes, but it's my job as a YouTuber. Of course, if you guys have been enjoying the content as of recently here on the channel, or just these episodes of Brawl News, me keeping you guys in the loop, be sure you subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps out in a very, very big way. We actually just reached 450,000 subscribers, and we're on that fast track to 500,000, 500,000. That's freaking nuts. But of course, thank you guys for all the continued support. Absolute legends. But to start off this video here today, I want to say to all of you that I am very, very happy that I ended up pushing our 1K surge, because guys, today announced there's a maintenance optional client coming up soon where Surge and Squeak are getting a nerf. Guys, we slipped right into that nice little window while Surge was OP and got the 1K. I'm happy. But taking a look at the patch notes that we have here in the game, we have maintenance May 4th. Squeak got a nerf to his OP gadget. It was insane. Reduced duration of residue by 10 seconds. So it once was 20 seconds. It is now 10 seconds. So yeah, that gadget is nut. It literally made Squeak one of the best brawlers in the entire game for some time. We'll see what this does to the gadget itself and Squeak's standing here in the meta. But on top of that, hey guys, look at this nice little long list for Surge here. It's nuts. But taking a look at it here, Power Surge now upgrades Surge 1 level down from 2. I don't know how I feel about this. The thing that was really good about the first gadget is it was a substitution for the teleportation gadget in some respects, where a lot of people would use their very first teleport gadget before the changes to Surge to get their first super in the bag so they weren't slow as heck, right? So I'm sure it will still kind of serve its purpose, but without that range, going to tier 2 will be a little bit harder to get that first super in 10 seconds, right? But moving along, slightly reduced his Party Tricks supercharge. Now it requires 3 main attacks after Party Tricks hits the target. So I believe what it was before is you would super onto someone, shoot them twice, and then you would get another super to go. And also, did you guys know that his super was called Party Tricks? Be honest with me. Did you know that? Because I didn't know that. And then finally, fixed a rare Club League bug that made players eligible for different Club League days, which I didn't really notice or anything like that, seeing that it was rare, but a decent nerf to Surge. I still think he's going to be somewhat pretty good here in the game. It's just going to be a bit more difficult to cycle supers as well as get that first tier from the OP gadget. As you guys know, before this Season 12 update came out, I was predicting that there was going to be a lot of Star Park or Star Park references here in this update, which, as you guys can tell, there hasn't been a whole lot. I think it was a really solid prediction with all the different stuff that was happening in terms of lore or Star Park stuff, the sneak peeks, the Easter eggs and photos, as well as the time of the year, the WKBRL live stream's anniversary date being April 19th. Of course, nothing happened on that day, which was unfortunate. This update had the best chance to have something within it, which of course it didn't. So guys, honestly, I don't really feel comfortable anymore making predictions about Star Park or anything like that. If it were to come back to Brawl Stars, it would have to be something kind of out of left field, because there's really no way to predict it at this point, and I don't feel comfortable doing so anymore. But I shouldn't say there was nothing in terms of lore coming out of this update, because people realized something really interesting. As you guys know, the skin set coming to the game, the Worst Bunch, are the opposition of the Star Force family here in this game. So that in and of itself is somewhat lore here in this game, but the thing that was discovered that was really interesting is this emblem. Something was found some time ago that would suggest that this skin set or this opposing team against the Star Force was predicted or given to us a really long time ago. Taking a look at a tweet that came out May 10th of 2021, which is almost literally 1 year ago, around the time when Belle was coming around the corner and we were in that Wild West theme. But as you can see from this picture, we have that logo here, an unidentified logo which we had no explanation behind at the time, and no one did get any explanation after this photo came out. But it's literally the same logo. Isn't that insane? I found it incredibly interesting. This would suggest that the Brawl Stars dev team has things planned out far in advance when it comes to lore or storytelling here in this game. So around the time this photo was released here, it was about a month-ish after the Season 6 update was released here in this game. So the Brawl Pass that had Belle on it, right? Which was 1 season after the Star Force season of the Brawl Pass, when we got Colonel Ruffs as well as the family in which we're talking about here. The opposing family to the Worst Bunch, right? They're clashing a little bit. Now, I don't want to get too crazy deep into speculation about this this or anything like that, but if this logo was coming out around the time that Belle was arriving in the game, it may suggest that this environment or maybe Belle might be against the Star Force as well. As you guys should know, we don't have a single other member in the Belle family, so it could be a nice little plot point or piggyback off of maybe the next update. We'll get some members to Belle's family, much like we got 2 new members to Stu's family in this season 12. I don't know, it's a little bit early on to make huge speculations or anything like that, but it is strange to see a logo that was first given to us in the Brawl Stars community around the time when Belle was kind of the most popular brawler here in the game being released into Brawl Stars, that it would come back again around this time. I've been getting a ton of FAQs, frequently asked questions here with this season 12 update, 2 of which are, should I buy this Brawl Pass, as well as when is Bonnie coming out, right? So I just want to give you guys my answer for those 2 questions, seeing that I've been seeing it a whole lot as of recently. So when it comes to season 12 here, I would say it's a pretty decent Brawl Pass to be purchasing. After pushing Janet for a couple days now and getting to rank 20, I think she's really good in certain maps. She's not like over the top broken or anything like that. I titled the Janet is unfair video because her super can be very unfair at certain points here in this game. A flying mechanic that allows you to be immune for 7 seconds is pretty dang broken if you ask me, but I would say she's like a 6 to 8 out of 10, right? She's not nuts or anything like that, but she's good where she's good. So that in and of itself I feel like is somewhat worth purchasing the Brawl Pass, but make sure to keep in mind the additional resources are going to be incredibly beneficial for the newest brawler coming out with this update, being Bonnie. Whenever there's an update where there's 2 brawlers coming out, it might be in your best interest to purchase the Brawl Pass so you have the highest chances possible to getting both of them. It would make more sense to purchase the Brawl Pass where there's 2 brawlers so you have a better chance of getting all the new content. So that's my opinion. I feel like season 12 is definitely worth purchasing if you have the gems in order to do so. Of course, I can't predict what season 13 is going to be all about. That's kind of the game you play here when you have enough gems as a free-to-play player, but logically it is a good purchase because we do have 2 brawlers in this update. But next up, I want to get into the other question that a lot of people have been asking, and that is, when is Bonnie coming out? And I do want to make sure you guys are all knowing this before I get into anything. This is very speculative. It's hard to make a prediction on when a brawler is coming out. The only real thing that we can use in order to make that prediction is previous updates where there were 2 brawlers being released. So approach this with a grain of salt. I'm just doing my best with the information that we have currently, right? So the last update in which we got 2 new brawlers was when Fang was released. We got Grom and Fang in the same exact update. And the way in which we're going to try to get somewhat of a ballpark estimate as to when it would make sense for Bonnie to come to the game is counting the days in between the release of both brawlers. So the Fang update was a little bit strange, seeing that we got Grom before we got the chromatic brawler. It's vice versa here for this season 12. But the very first day we were able to get Grom was on December 22nd here from the challenge, and then a few days later able to get it from the shop. And then we move up when Fang was released here in the game, and that is January 17th here. So that time gap between both brawlers being released is about 27 days, so roughly a month, which would make a ton of sense. I feel like when it comes to 2 brawlers being released in one update, the Brawl Stars dev team usually approaches it where they will release one, wait a little bit, and then release another one during the same exact season so that the hype can kind of continue throughout the entire season 12 Brawl Pass. So like midpoint would make a ton of sense, seeing that a Brawl Pass lasts 60 days, so around the month point, the halfway point, release the other brawler. But then, if we take a look at the other most recent example of 2 brawlers being released here in this game, we have the update where we have Griff and Buzz being released. So the chromatic brawler Buzz was the first brawler to be released, much like this season 12 update during season 7 at this point, but he was released along with the Brawl Pass on June 21st. And then Griff, much like Grom, was available from a challenge. So we're seeing some overlap here. We might be having a challenge for Bonnie, but who knows? But this challenge was on July 23rd, which is just about a month apart. So we're seeing some reoccurring things happening here. Of course, at this time, the Brawl Pass was still 70 days, where today it is now 60. But it seems like whenever there's 2 brawlers being released in one update, the Brawl Stars dev team likes to wait about a month for the other brawler to be released, which would make the most sense from a game developer's standpoint. They want to keep the hype for as long as possible, right? Throughout the entire season of the Brawl Pass so that they can get to the next season of the Brawl Pass and still have people hyped up and playing with the new content and enjoying it. So I know it's not crazy. I'm not making predictions or anything like this specific date, but I would say about a month, give or take a few days from when Janet was released, which was only a couple days ago. So it is a little bit of a wait, but I think it makes the most sense seeing that we do have 60 days in this season. If we say take the same exact amount of time from the Grom and Fang update, 27-ish days, I think that would play out really, really nicely a little bit before the halfway point so that we get Bonnie with like roughly 34, 35-ish days left on the Brawl Pass. So then it would take us for like, say, another month after that, 5 days when we will be getting like the Brawl Talks and the sneak peeks for the next season of the Brawl Pass. So kind of midway point before the 5-ish days before we get the juicy sneak peeks for the next season. So I'm going to say a little bit less than a month. We'll go off the Fang and Grom one, around 27, 26-ish days from today. But yeah, everyone, I think that's a good ending point here for this video today. Just kind of wanted to go over more current events, some of the more important stuff that has been happening recently, as well as more speculative stuff, seeing that a lot of people have been asking or wondering about the things coming out right around the corner. So of course, hope you all found this video useful. If you did, be sure to slap that like button. It definitely helps out a ton. Make sure to keep having fun with this season 12 update, and we'll see you all in the next video. Adios and take care.